Hey friends, this is Laurie Brooks. If we haven't met yet, I am a local realtor here in Boerne, Texas, and I am passionate about helping people navigate the buying and selling journey in real estate here in Boerne and San Antonio in the Hill Country. In today's video, we'll be talking about one of the most important decisions sellers have to make when they're getting ready to sell their home, and that's pricing. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I've seen it gone wrong and I want to give help on that. So today we'll be talking about how to price your home, whether pricing it too high or too low, why that strategy might not work for you, and what really you need to do to bring in the most amount of buyers so that you can sell your house in the least amount of time for the most amount of money. So if that is something you're interested in, stay tuned. So today we'll cover what really happens when you overprice or underprice your house, what buyers and agents are looking at based on the price of your house, what data and tools I use in order to help people price their houses, and how to adjust to current market, because sometimes it's unpredictable and we need to have a plan for that. So you might be thinking that pricing is just a simple number you put on a piece of paper, but that is not it at all. The market changes so significantly sometimes that your agent needs to be up to date on what's going on. And so price matters because that changes who's looking at your house, if you're bringing in qualified buyers to look at your house, if your house is just sitting on the market, if you're behind, if you're pricing it at last month or last year's pricing strategy and it's changed dramatically. Really, if you are pricing your home, your goal is likely to sell your house. And my goal when I'm helping clients is to help them sell their houses for the most amount of money with the least amount of work as fast as we can. So that's what I'm thinking about. And in order to do that, we need to price your house strategically for the current market, for the current buyers, and to make sure that we get the most amount of views early on. So what is the danger of overpricing? Oftentimes I hear from clients, I just want to have a little room to negotiate. You could be making the house down the street look like a better deal because they're priced more competitively. You could have your listing go stale because people know it's too high and they're just waiting for it to come down. It's just out of their price point. And then you have to reduce anyways because your days on market has gone up. Or if your days on market has gone up because people aren't looking at it because the price point isn't correct for the location or the timing, then people start beginning to wonder what is wrong with it. And at this point, if you're having to price drop because you have to sell your house, you could be lower than the starting price was to begin with. So you're costing yourself time and money with an overpricing strategy. Underpricing a home could be strategic, especially depending on the market and the area you're in order to attract multiple offers. So there is strategy in underpricing at times. However, if you're underpricing without a plan, you could be attracting lowball offers because they think you're desperate to get out of it. You could be losing out on some money because people are willing to pay more for the area, or you could lose some of your negotiation power because people might not go that much higher over the price that you have. So you're hoping for multiple offers, but if that doesn't work out, you might not get the amount that you need. So all in all, this is another strategy that people use. You just need to have a plan in place in order to make this most effective. Okay, what do I do to help sellers price smart? Well, if we haven't talked about this before, my background's biochemistry, so I am a data nerd. So I use a lot of data to better understand the situation for my client. One, I've always told you that I understand your goal. So if you're buying and selling at the same time, if timing matters, then that is something I take into consideration. I always have this conversation. You have basically two things to work with: money and time. And so if time is what you're short on, then we need to work on the money side. If you want to just sit and wait, then the money side is something that we have more flexibility, but you have to think about it. You don't want to just be showing your house all the time and sitting on the market. That's exhausting too, showing all the time because you're priced too high. So how do I do it? One, I look at comps in the area. I look at what's sold and I look at what's currently on the market. I look at what's trending. I also look at what's showing in the market. I look in your neighborhood and I look in the zip code so I can see what price point people are looking at that are actually actively looking at showings and what's been selling in your market. That could change dramatically from day to day, month to month, week to week. So before we market your house or come to market, I double check that number. And then I give you a variety, like a range, right? Like this is our goals. If our goals is to sell it really quick, this is a number. If we want to sit and watch it, this is a number. And we work towards all of those things. But data is my number one source, buyer activity. And I just look at what's going on in the environment around us and I make sure it's up to date to current market value. You might come to me and say, I think my house is worth X. Here's the deal. It might be worth X in your mind, but what we're doing is we're attracting buyers that want to buy your house because really you're selling your house. So we need to be accurate with who is looking in the current environment. And as the map changes, as the roadmap changes for buyers, we need to adjust to that. So, how do you price in a shifting market? Well, I've said this so many times. If real estate was predictable, it would be much easier, but it's not. It is ever changing. And the one source that we have to go on is the data. It's typically historical data or current data, but that's what we have to look at. So if the market slows and interest rates increase, then buyer activity usually reduces. And when there's a reduction in buyer activity, then we need to make an adjustment. Current market right now, where we're at in 2025, is a buyer's market. There's a lot of listings out there, and buyers are being picky, which they can be. They are still buying homes, but they're looking for great deals. They're looking to see who's going to get them a lower interest rate or what closing costs they can use to reduce their interest rate. They're looking to see if they can get a better deal on your list price. So all of these things we take into consideration. And if it shifts, then we look at feedback. We look at showings. We take into account seasonality. We take into account the time of the year. And if there's an appropriate price adjustment, then we'll talk through it. It depends on what your goals are. I feel like I say it all the time, but your goals are what matters most. And so if we have to move quickly, then we need to be more aggressive in our pricing. If you have some time, then we have some time, but we always have to be careful on days on market as well. So you need an agent who's working you through, talking you through all of those details. I hope you got some valuable information today from this video. I hope you learned that pricing is a strategy. It's not just aiming high, it's working with someone that's knowledgeable, understanding the data, and adjusting based on current market. If you are thinking about buying or selling in the Hill Country, Boerne, San Antonio area, I would love to help. Or if you have any questions about pricing, selling, buying, investing, I am here to help. I would love to answer any questions that you have. I would love for you to like and subscribe so it helps me understand what's valuable to you. And also, you can follow me on Instagram. Instagram is where you'll find more about me, my family, behind the scenes, and just day to day. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.